Welcome back to another spooky travel episode of Gothic Homemaking. I'm Aurelio Voltaire, and this is my lovely fiancée, Mayumi Toyoda.
Hello!
It is that spooky time of year, and all of the creepy kids are going to Sleepy Hollow, or Salem, Massachusetts, or both. Mayumi and I have over the years been to both of these places multiple times, so I decided that we would do something a little unusual this year. Instead of doing an episode on each one of them, we're going to do an episode called Sleepy Hollow versus Salem. Time is limited, finances are limited, and you can only go to one. Which will you choose? Today we're going to figure out which is the better destination, or at least we're going to try. And where are we going to go first? Ladies' choice.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow it is. Take a look. Our trip began in New York City's Grand Central Station, where we took a moment to admire the constellations over our heads, while we still had our heads. Then it was on to a Metro North train, on which we traveled for about an hour and a half until we reached the village of Tarrytown. We would be staying at the Castle Hotel and Spa in Tarrytown, and let me tell you, this place is a real castle. Not a medieval one, of course, it's a reproduction. But that didn't stop us from howling with delight when we arrived. This structure, originally called Carroll Cliff, was built as a residence by General Howard Carroll between 1897 and 1910. And while not medieval, it is truly a towering and imposing castle in every way. This is the perfect spot for a wedding, and in fact, I officiated one here. Once settled in, we raced to the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery as it closes early. We were losing our heads until this horseman told us how to get there, just past a certain creek. As we stood there admiring the creek, we realized we were standing on the very spot where Ichabod Crane met the Headless Horseman. For this is the site of the Horseman Bridge. Just next to the bridge is the old Dutch church that figures in Washington Irving's chilling tale. This is the very place the Headless Horseman must return to by daybreak after a long night of searching for his head. Here you can search for many old gravestones from the era of the book, making you feel like you're reliving the story itself. And closer to Halloween, they sometimes have a Headless Horseman that patrols the grounds on a real horse. You can also get a map there to help you find the gravestones of local people who are thought to have inspired the characters in the book. Just around the corner, we found the resting place of Eleanor Van Tassel. Could she have been the inspiration for the lovely Katrina Van Tassel? And it's believed that this fellow who fought the British was the inspiration for the brawny bully Brom Bones. And this hallowed spot, just a few feet away, is believed to be where the actual Hessian horseman was buried in an unmarked grave. But not all of the graves here are old. This grave for a local witch who died in 1777 is brand new. Hulda of Bohemia is believed to be the High German doctor from Irving's tale. The town finally felt she deserved a resting place in this Christian cemetery for her selfless acts of healing and for her acts of bravery in fighting the British. But of course, the most famous resident here is Washington Irving himself. On the way to his resting place, you can take a walk and see some crypts, or one could say you could do a crypt walk through the boneyard. See graves of people who died of diseases uncurable 100 years ago, and if you're wondering why we're wearing masks, it's because this was shot during the plague times. So, cooped up for a while, it was great to be out and about and taking in such beautiful views. Finally, we arrived at Irving's grave, and we thanked him for his enduring tale of terror. Being an old cemetery, of course, you will see some graves that have seen better days, but I think they're smashing. Like humans, the lines just give them character. Then it was back to Tarrytown, and fun fact, Sleepy Hollow was actually North Tarrytown. It wasn't until 1996 that the town decided to embrace its spooky legacy and officially changed its name to Sleepy Hollow. And ever since then, people have been dying to visit. Tarrytown really gets into the spirit, and all of the shops put up Halloween decorations. The only shop we found, though, with spooky wares was Bella's. In this shop, you can find Halloween decorations, spooky fabrics, Halloween home decor, and spooky little bric-a-brac with secrets waiting to be cracked. And of course, Headless Horseman stuff. There's a wide selection of Legend of Sleepy Hollow themed books, from the original tale and histories of the town, all the way to picture books for children. And they all celebrate its creator, its creature, and the enduring lore that resonates with people to this day. Next, it was off to dinner at Horse Feathers, where they really lose their minds for the horsemen and Halloween in general. Their menu had a great selection of autumnal food and drink, perfect to warm the body and the soul, presuming you still have both. Then, as the sun began to set, it was time for us to giddy up and ride to see several thousand glowing jack-o'-lanterns at a place called The Blaze. Walking through the illuminated arch, we were welcomed into a wicked wonderland that was truly a sight to behold. Talented craftspeople carve thousands of artificial pumpkins into incredible structures and sculptures and illuminate them in such a way that you'll have stars in your eyes, and you'll be feeling like you've just entered a creepy carnival. And since the Blaze is near Sleepy Hollow, you just might meet the horseman himself as you brave your way through the Horseman Bridge. My favorite part was this incredible graveyard, complete with ornate, illuminated gravestones that hailed to the ones we saw in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, as well as a horde of skeletons ready to do the skeleton dance. Mayumi really loved this illuminated house with a lovely light show timed to whimsical Halloween music. This was truly the perfect way to end our trip to Sleepy Hollow. And that was our experience in Sleepy Hollow. How did Sleepy Hollow measure up for you?
It went good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let's take it in categories.
Okay.
Restaurant options.
Well, not so many, but the one we went, I love the pumpkin soup.
Horse Feathers, the pumpkin soup was very good.
Oh, yeah, delicious.
That's true. And there's a good Cuban restaurant around the corner, but there was truly not a lot of options. All right, what about hotel options?
Well, we stay at the castle and nothing beats a castle.
That's true. It's very, very hard to beat a castle, so high points for the Tarrytown Castle.
Yes.
What about spooky attractions?
Well, I love the Blaze.
Blaze was very beautiful.
Yes. And the cemetery, of course, that was beautiful and very fun.
Yes, you know, getting a map and being able to go around and find the tombstones.
Yeah, that was
the cemetery is really quite nice.
Yes.
And I guess last but not least, shopping options.
Not
a lot.
No, a little bit disappointed.
There was that one store that had like Headless Horseman souvenirs.
Yes, only one store. Yes, I wanted more.
You wanted more? Don't we all? Overall, Sleepy Hollow for me has a lot of history. It has a lot of vibe and atmosphere. Like you go there and you really you can imagine that you're in, the legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, that's fun.
So there's a lot of ambiance, and the town really gets into it, and they all put out decorations. But I would have to agree with you on your assessments. And that leads us now to Salem, Massachusetts. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's take a look. In December of 2022, I performed in Salem at Dark, the local goth night. And if you're wondering why I'm first going to show you Salem in December, believe me when I say it'll all make sense soon. On that trip, I stayed at the Salem Inn, which is really more like staying in an historic home than in a hotel. I loved that my room had a fireplace, and it was really great to fall asleep by the fire on a cold December night. Very cozy. And the jacuzzi wasn't too shabby. The Salem Inn is centrally located just across the street from the Witch House, one of Salem's main attractions, and that's right across the street from Witch City Vintage and Consignment. I featured this place in other episodes of Gothic Homemaking. It's full of vendor spaces selling macabre items from human bones to spine-chilling masks. And just across from there is Witch City Wicks, where you can find lots of wonderfully wicked wall art, Gothic gift ideas, dark decor items, and lots of candles. Just down the street is the Black Craft Cult Store, which is housed in an old bank which is really something majestic to behold. And while the guard appears to be ho, I assure you the folks who once put their money in these vaults were not. Of course, while you're there, you'll want to shop for Black Craft's devilishly dark duds. But the real centerpiece of this place is this enormous witch hanging from a gorgeous glass ceiling. And since it was creepy Christmas, I got my photo with Krampus, of course. The shopping continues down the street at Hive and Forge, where you can find eclectic finery and peculiar oddities. In this shop, you'll find lots and lots of taxidermy, artisanal arts, oddities, and books. Then cruise over to Die With Your Boots On, presumably named after the Iron Maiden song. In this goth shop, you'll find lots and lots of gothic boots, as well as other spooky surprises. Then head down to the corner of Essex and Washington to visit the statue of Samantha Stevens, America's favorite witch, from the show Bewitched. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you Salem in December, let me tell you, I played in Boston on October 15th of that same year. I took a side trip to Salem, and remember that Bewitched statue? Well, this is what it looked like during October. Yeah, you'll need to stand on that line for a while to get a picture with old Samantha Stevens. And remember the witch house I showed you in December? Well, this is what to expect in October. Lots more traffic and lines wrapped around the corner to take a peek inside. All of those stores I showed you, well, they'll all have lines outside, as will most of the restaurants. So whether you want ice cream or just a wolf down a burger, you're gonna need to fight your way through hordes of eerie enthusiasts. While Salem awaits with open arms, it's not going to give you everything immediately. It's going to take a little bit of patience to do most things. Having said that, there's a ton of museums like the Witch Museum, and there's monster museums, there's a pirate museum, and a wax museum. And while you're surfing through the crowds, you'll spot some cosplay buskers ready to bewitch you like these three beautiful witches bewitched me. And remember to generously tip these people who dress up to give you a frightfully fun experience and make your trip that much more electric. I don't think Mayumi was as into having her head shrunk as I was. I recognized this demon, and then a god recognized me.
Holy
Hi, Baphomet!
I took a photo with the greatest of all time and told him, "Hey, goat, watch your snout. Little ones watch this show, you know." Oops.
Hi, thanks for watching the show!
Then I was spotted by some lovely souls who watched the show who asked for a photo. And if you think for a moment that I mind being a Halloween attraction at the Halloween attraction, you'd be dead wrong. I love it. Thank you for watching, guys. And thank you for saying hello. And if you don't end up dead in a pool from the crowds, let me tell you that Salem offers a whole other experience at night. There are haunted houses, spooky spots loaded with atmosphere, and no shortage of places to take a phantasmagorical photo to remember a night spent with friends and family, presuming yours are into the spooky destinations. But it's not all about cheeky horror here, there's also history, lots of it. Luckily, there are many haunted hosts to take you on a terrifying tour of Salem's past. In Salem, it's not about what you'll do, it's about which of the many things you'll do. And that is Salem, Massachusetts.
Now it's your turn.
I'm ready, fire away.
Okay, how about hotel?
I would say mostly when you stay in Salem, you do stay in bed and breakfasts. So it's not really so much a hotel experience. It's more of a personal bed and breakfast kind of experience. So I would say it's not a castle like Sleepy Hollow, but they're certainly very quaint places to stay.
Nice. And restaurant?
Restaurants, I think there's a lot of options.
And spooky attractions?
Spooky attractions. This is where Salem really shines.
Yes.
Because above and beyond, obviously being, the site of a historical, a spooky event, there are so many museums. There's monster museums, and there's pirate museums, and there's witch museums. This is a place where they shot Hocus Pocus, and you can go and visit the locations of Hocus Pocus. So there is a lot to do in Salem, including nighttime walking tours. So I would say when it comes to spooky attractions, there's more to do there than in Sleepy Hollow.
Nice. And to finish this interview, what about the stores in Salem?
Oh, the shopping is off the chain, folks. The shopping is off the chain. There are so... I think they get the picture. I think they get the picture. There are so many stores in Salem, and Salem is so witch-centric that every other store has, potions and incense and essential oils, a lot of, tarot decks, and just really kind of like esoteric stuff.
Yes.
Gothic clothing, Gothic sculptures. So when it comes to shopping, Salem has got Sleepy Hollow beat by a long shot. So, which one wins, Salem or Sleepy Hollow? If you had to choose one to go to, which would you go to?
Salem.
Okay, you know what? I was going to say, why not both? Why not both?
Why not both? We went both.
We did go to both. And we will continue to go to both. You know, what I love about both of these places is that these are places that would be ordinary American towns if the local government did not decide consciously to embrace the macabre nature or the macabre history of that town and turn it into a spooky destination. So I'm going to say Sleepy Hollow versus Salem. Why not both? If you can make it to both, do. If shopping's your thing, I would definitely say go to Salem. But if you want a taste of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, if you want to feel like you're inside of a horror novel,
that's cool.
That's the place to go to. Either way, you cannot lose. These are two of our favorite places.
Yes.
And we can't wait to return.
Yes, let's go.
And we hope that you will enjoy them both. Thank you. We'll see you next time here on Gothic Homemaking.